we're back, and now I'm here with one of our favorite social worker resident coordinators, resident services coordinators, Sue Franke. And she's going to talk to us about having to keep our brains healthy.
Yes.
So how do we keep our brains healthy, Sue?
Yeah, and Franklin was talking a lot about those moving in, and so now I'm going to talk about what you here at Greenspring can do to help yourselves now that you're here. So we go to the fitness center and we do a lot of different things to keep our bodies healthy, and a lot of people talk about how to maintain your body and its health, but how do we maintain our brain health? And I think that here at Greenspring we have some programs that are coming up that are really exciting and are good to consider in terms of just sort of tweaking that brain health. One of the ones that is coming up at the end of October into November is called Brain Train.
Okay.
And this is a collaboration with the fitness center. So we will have one of the staff members from the fitness center come down to the Akatink room with us, and we have two sets of stations. So we have a station that works on brain health, and then we also have a station that works on physical health, and they are happening simultaneously.
Okay.
And after a period of time, then the two stations switch, and you go from doing one to doing the other. So it's going back and forth from one to the other, doing the brain exercises and then doing the physical exercises.
Now, is there a significant correlation of doing a physical activity and a brain activity at the same time, or is there a reason why you're mixing both?
And I think the reason to mix the both is because both of them are very instrumental in maintaining brain health. So there are four main tenets that Dr. Gary Small talks about in his book, 2 Weeks to a Younger Brain, which we teach a class here about. But the four tenets are staying physically active, doing brain exercises, making sure that you stay calm and reduce your stress, and then eating healthy. So if we can help with two of those at the same time, so maintaining that physical health along with the brain exercises, and then also the opportunity to do it with other people. So to socialize as well, which has been shown to really be a positive in terms of keeping the brain healthy.
Well, I would say you're hitting three, because when you exercise, at least for me, it keeps me calm.
Yes,
So,
well, that's true.
So I feel like you're hitting 3 out of the 4.
Yep. And so we're doing that. It's down in the Akatink room in the last 2 Thursdays in October, the 24th and the 31st, and then the first 2 Thursdays in November, the 7th and the 14th. And it is open to all residents.
You don't have to sign up ahead of time, just show up?
No sign up. You don't have to do all 4. You can do 1, you can do 2, 3, or 4. So it's at your leisure, those that you have the availability to do.
Okay.
So I highly encourage you to come down and just, it's fun. It's a fun hour of just mixing things up, being together, and doing some exercises for both brain and body. Okay,
perfect. And you said there's another event, the Mind Benders?
Then we have Mind Benders,
yes.
And that is something that happens on a monthly basis. Elena Keitel runs that. It's always the first Tuesday. It had changed, so now that they're doing work on Town Center, it is now the first Tuesday over in Hunter's Crossing in the cards room area, so that area that's just out in the open across from the Jefferson. And they spend an hour just doing brain exercises. And again, it's that opportunity to socialize, so being together and laugh a little bit and to just do some things that might stretch your thinking, but yet knowing you don't have to know all the answers, that sometimes it's working with others to get the right answers or to get an answer to something. So that's another opportunity, and that is open to everybody. And again, if you are available on a first Tuesday of the month, stop in from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock over in Hunter's Crossing.
All right, so what are these kind of brain exercises that you are doing? Are you doing like Sudokus or riddles or math problems? You know, I would love to do math problems. So what are some of the brain exercises that you are doing in these events?
And that's a good question. We have a website that Elena's been pulling from in terms of different brain exercises that have been showing, and they vary from things like naming as many presidents as you can, or naming the state capitals to different types of riddles, or these boxes where they have different figures in it and you try to figure out the saying. So there's a lot of different things, but that's one of the things that I have found interesting, is that a lot of residents will say, well, I always do crossword puzzles, or I always do Sudoku. I do it every day. But what I would like to do is challenge residents to do something different.
Okay.
Because what happens is our brain, it likes to forge a pathway.
Okay.
So if you think of our brain sort of as like rivers, in that the information travels down this pathway, but it gets in a rut. And it just can dig that rut in deeper. But to expand our knowledge and to be able to help ourselves stay fit, we need to challenge that, and we need to get outside the banks of that rut and find new tributaries within our brain to sort of expand the knowledge. And so for those that do Sudoku every day, I challenge you to find something else to do.
Okay.
So to pick up, there's the Express newspapers out in the community buildings. Pick one of those up. They have some games in the back of those to try. Or if you work on the computers, all you have to do is type in brain healthy games, and there is just a multitude of free games out there that you can do right there on the computer that are really pretty fascinating, and they also can keep track of your progress in terms of them. But to switch it up, to not do the same thing, sort of like what they talk about with physical exercise. The mantra is, if you do the same thing all the time, your body gets used to it, and it no longer necessarily benefits from doing that same thing.
Because it's gotten used to doing the same thing.
It's gotten used to doing it, and your brain does exactly the same thing. So it's getting out of the comfort zone, and I can feel some people getting a little anxious. Well, I don't know if I can do anything other than Sudoku or crossword puzzles. But once you start branching out, you find that it gets easier to think about doing things. And one of the simplest things that you can do to challenge your brain is try doing something with your non-dominant hand.
Oh.
So try brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, or opening a door. So challenging yourself in that way too. A computer mouse, switch it over, put it in your left hand and see what you can do, or write something. So the challenge doesn't have to be just in a prescribed exercise. It can be in things that you don't even think about, but that can actually help forging those new pathways.
Well, I was going to say, I've been working on using my non-dominant hand in boxing. I use the other one. But I can't say boxing is really promoting healthy brains, because you're getting hit in the head. But I wouldn't recommend the residents here to do that. I was going to ask about what are the signs, because the whole point of these seminars is to exercise the brain and to maintain a healthy brain. And I was going to ask, what are the signs of that? There could be someone that's like, oh, my brain is fine and I'm good. I have my memory, so that says I'm good. What are the signs to an unhealthy brain? And you kind of mentioned, touched on it a little bit about the fact of not willing to do challenges and that kind of stuff. Are there other signs that say your brain might not be as healthy as you might think?
Well, I think that if you tend to isolate, I shouldn't say this for everybody because some of it's a personal choice, but staying and not being out with people, so it's good for our brains, it's good for our body to be out with people, to try new things. So I think if you're reticent to do that it's time to rethink some of what you're doing. I think also if you find that you're forgetting things and really not able to remember them. So a lot of times you'll forget a word, you'll have the difficulty with word finding, but it will pop into your head a little bit later. That's, if it just doesn't come, then it's time to think about maybe just getting it checked, going to your doctor, getting a regular physical, because there's lots of different factors that can make it so that we're not thinking as clearly. Getting enough sleep is an important piece too. I know when I don't, it's hard to focus.
It is hard to focus. I've been there, done that. I understand completely.
So that anxiety, the not getting enough sleep, they too can play into it, and could be just really easy fixes to be able to help focus on what you're doing.
And I was thinking, just like physical health, it's important to do these exercises while it's still good, while you're still able and while you're still healthy. Don't wait until something goes wrong and still do it before anything gets worse.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think that's a better way of saying it.
Yep.
So jump ahead. So is there anything else you want to add before we close out for the day?
Well, I think it's an overall change. Eating some more fruits and vegetables, some good healthy fats like salmon and olive oil, those types of things. So it's multifactorial, but we really would love to see residents come to Brain Train and Mind Benders to be able to just be together and exercise our brains.
Well, thanks, Sue, for coming on. I encourage everyone, all the residents, to come out to these events and see how smart you are, because I don't know if I know all the presidents. I might have to come
challenge.
Yeah, I might have to come and challenge myself. So thanks for coming on, Sue.
Thanks, Avan.